William Taylor is the former ambassador to Ukraine. He says the 36,000 US troops in Germany are symbolic of America's commitment to NATO.
So, Mel, you're right. 36,000 in Germany and probably roughly 80,000 in all of Europe. And they're there to demonstrate the United States is serious about its commitment to NATO. NATO has been there to deter the Soviet Union before, and now the Russians from attacking any NATO member. And it's been very effective. And part of that effectiveness has been the role of the United States, both on the conventional side with these troops, as well as a promise to retaliate by nuclear weapons if that's necessary. So this is an important component of the NATO deterrent of the Russians and before them the Soviets.
So Donald Trump has been very critical of NATO, particularly since returning to office. So what do you think this move says about his plans for the future when it comes to NATO? And what kind of effect will this have on, as you say, the effective deterrence of US troops being in Europe?
Well, Mel, I would say that the 5,000, it's important. It's a brigade, and a brigade brings a lot of combat power. But that's the 5,000 of the 80,000. We're talking about roughly 6%. So it will not have a significant effect on the deterrence that NATO shows to the Russians. But along with other actions that the president and this administration have taken, I'm thinking now of cutting off the assistance to Ukraine. I'm thinking of the threats to Greenland. These indicate that the Europeans need to be stepping up in terms of what they're providing for their own defense. And, Mel, they are. The Europeans are stepping up in terms of the size of their defense budgets, as well as their commitments to Ukraine.
So if it is, as you say, it's only 5,000 troops that are being withdrawn at this stage, as you say, not a significant effect on, the US footprint in Europe. Why is Donald Trump making this move then?
He apparently is not pleased with the German Chancellor's comments. But the Pentagon, it sounds like, has been thinking about this question for over a year. That is, they do a regular assessment of where troops and where American forces are deployed around the world. And they have been doing this for a year. They may have come to this conclusion that now is the time to consider removing this 5,000 troops from Germany. But as the president needed something to demonstrate to Chancellor Merz that Trump was not pleased, he took this opportunity.
So how do you expect Germany and Europe more broadly will respond to this latest move and the ongoing rhetoric of the United States president when it comes to NATO?
I think they will continue to do what they've been doing for the past several months, indeed about the last year, and that is boost their own capabilities. They know that they need to be able to defend themselves. They know that the Americans will not be here forever, will not be in Europe forever. And the indications from this administration are that they could be sooner rather than later. So, in answer to your question, the Europeans are stepping up, providing more forces, developing their own defense industrial capabilities so that they can provide their own weapons, most of which come from Europe right now. And the Ukrainians are making most of their weapons, not relying on the Americans for anything other than the very high-end weapons that they need that only the Americans can provide. That is to say, the Europeans are stepping up to provide more for their own security.